Hello everyone, Shivani Thalreja this side. In this video, we are going to solve the Hackerrank problems and we are taking inherited code in C++. This problem performs username validation for company's website and this problem works on exception handling concept and it throws an exception whenever a username is too short. So we have to define that exception, and when that exception is thrown, it prints n where n is the length of given username. So here is the input. 3 is the number of test cases. The first line contains an integer t, the number of test cases. 3 is the number of test case here. Each of the t subsequent lines describe the test case as a single username u. Peter, me, and ARXWWZ is a username string, and the number of test cases should be less than 1000, and the length of these username string should be less than 100, and the username can consist only of uppercase and lowercase letters. And the output will provide the validation for each username string as Peter is valid and me is too short and ARXWWZ is invalid. Username me is too short because it only contains 2 characters, so your exception prints too short 2, which is the length of the me string. So we have to define this exception, and all other validations is already given there. So let's have a look at the code. Let's click these 3 dots. They have already given the main function, and in this main function they are testing the test cases while t minus minus, and they have defined the username string, and in the try block they have called the function check username and pass username as a parameter. So let's have a look at the check username function, and its data type is bool, so it will only return true or false. They have already defined is valid as true in the starting and username length. So if the length is less than 5, it will throw bad length exception, which we have to define here. And there is another validation for loop. And there is another validation in for loop if username I is equals to w and username I plus 1 is equals to w. If there is 2 continuously w's, then the string will be invalid. Then the string is invalid, is valid will be false, and in this function they are returning is valid. And if is valid is true, then it will print valid string, and if it is false, then they will print invalid string. And in the catch block they have defined the object e in the bad length exception class, and they have called the what function with the object e. So we have to make class bad length exception and what function inside that, which will print the length of the string. So let's make the class here, class, and the name should be bad length exception. So we will copy it. So we will first define the variable in the specifier private. Let's define the variable in data type int because we have to give the length of the string. Now we will declare the constructor. We will declare it in public specifier. Constructor name should be the same name as the class name, and our constructor will be the parameterized constructors. As we can see here, they have passed the parameter in the name in the constructor. So we will give here the int n as parameter, and we will assign the n into the variable n, which we already declared here. So num equals to n. We will use this pointer here. This pointer points the address of the object. And now we will define the function what, which we have seen here. So let's write what here. word, and its data type would be, its return type would be int, and inside this function we are going to return the num, and that's it. Now we will run the code. Let's run it. Yes, it is working. It's correct. Now we will run it for other test cases. Yeah, it runs properly well.